Like
but I
out in the
actually,
country or a city or
yeah,
what kind
it
of
was just
terrain or
it was just like a town. I actually looked at myself as I went out, you know, and then once I got up and was looking at myself, I just kind of took off, and then, but I didn't recognize where I was at. So I'm like trying to figure out where I was at, and then it's like I give up trying to figure out, and then I just
Is that
sit
Mhm.
back
the
up.
is that the car story?
Our story,
Yeah, when you had the car, the racer, or something like that.
our racer.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Oh, you're talking about the dream I had.
Yeah.
That was a dream. Yeah, that was
That was kind of
when
like
I
a
was dreaming
past life type.
past life
Yeah.
experience. Yeah, yeah, where I was. That was in around the same time where I was trying to. I don't know. It's been a while since that happened, but I was studying that dream states and stuff like that, and I had a dream that I was a Indy car racer and crashed in turn four, and like you was describing, I see myself hitting the wall, tumbling over the wall, and then I see car actually doing it.
Hmm.
And it
Funny.
kind of felt like I was there through the whole dream, like it actually happened to me, like I was the one driving it. But I haven't ever been able to figure out what car or who it was that happened to. But it
Um,
was a
Hmm.
more modern. It's a more modern Indy car, so I've kind of studied some Indy cars just kind of see if I could get a time base on it, and for it to be before my time, which is '69, the cars don't match what we're at. So I don't know. Do 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 do.
Is it
you
possible
are
that they
now
could
entering the
overlap?
Twilight Zone.
I don't know.
Mhm.
Like I said, I never
Time
have studied
travel.
it.
You die, you time travel back to your next body.
Yeah, and then you realize, hey, that was me.
So that would be like the equivalent of soul travel, kind of, right?
Yeah,
Possibly.
because
Is that
Yeah.
supposedly some people are dead for like 20 years before they're born again. So do they go to the future and get born again? Or do they
Yeah.
have a life between that they don't remember?
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I said, I was studying that stuff at the time, so
Things
and
that
that's
make you go,
years ago.
Oh, hit my
But
elbow.
it's possible.
Yeah, I hit my elbow. Oh, I hit my elbow.
Funny bone.
Yeah, it didn't feel
it
too
was
good.
Okay.
funny to us.
Yeah. What about you, Chris? You ever had anything like that?
Nope.
Nope. Rebecca Olson commented on here on our Facebook. She said, when Jeff was around 18, he was extremely ill and was taken to the ER probably much later than he should have been taken. His throat and tongue swelled, likely anaphylactic. I can't say that word.
Anaphylactic. Anaphylactic.
Uh, well, it's
Anaphylactic shock.
Anaphylactic shock.
LAIS. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he died on the table.
Right.
When it happened,
Peanut butter.
he was looking down at himself on the table until they brought him back.
So he
Yeah,
launched.
anaphylaxis.
They
Yeah.
went back. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so he went and came
Respiratory
back.
failure. Right.
Yep.
That well, and that your mom and that happened to her,
Yeah, that happened to her too. Yep. When I was 8 years old back in 1998.
and it's all very, very real. It's like more real than you looking at something right now. It's the people who have those. It just they can't even describe it. And if they see different things or see different people or colors or whatever, they can't even describe them in our language. So,
Yeah. And you sent me a link when I was talking about near-death experiences, and you sent me this link, and I've been looking through these. The first
there's a
one,
bunch.
yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
them. It says the first one is from the United Kingdom. They said, I suddenly saw my deceased grandmother appear at the foot of the bed. She was nodding and smiling comfortingly. I remember feeling surprised to see her because even at age 5, I knew that she had gone permanently to heaven. I'm not sure of the time frame or order of events, but I remember floating up near the ceiling and looking down at a little figure lying motionless in bed. I saw my mother praying beside the bed. With surprise, I realized the figure was me. I was much smaller than I thought. I remember turning to see the dust on top of the curtain pelmet. I remember going into a dark tunnel and sensing dark figures also traveling down the tunnel. Now I believe they were other departing spirits.
Mhm. Her description matches my sister's description of her experience of going through a dark tunnel. And this was when she had a brain aneurysm blow in her head, and she was in surgery when she had the experience.
In a book surgery, and I ended up taking my phone, and I was like, it's not deep like it was last month.
And so she was flying through this dark tunnel, and she realized that she was flying.
I never dropped it.
And
I don't know how I
then
did.
she saw, at the end of it, she saw this beautiful light that she was going towards. And the main thing she remembered about what she felt was that she was at total peace. She felt absolutely at peace. And she remembered thinking to herself, am I dead? Because if I'm dead, this ain't so bad. That's exactly what she thought. And I've read other people say that kind of thing too. And then she was moving closer towards this beautiful light, and then she woke up in a hospital bed. She remembered feeling the handrails around.
Yeah.
So that was her experience, the whole tunnel and the light thing.
Yeah, if you go to this and you read this story here, it says when they finished it off, the reason they said probable NDE at age 5 due to pneumonia, and they shared their story 62 years later.
Another incident of near-death experience that I read a couple of years ago. Scientifically, a lot of times they describe this as what happens to your brain with oxygen deprivation.
Yeah.
And things are shutting down. And the story that I read was by a neurosurgeon who experienced it and said, I used to always attribute it to that, but that's not really what's happening, that this is real. And it's a very, very interesting book, but it totally changed his perspective on what he had always attributed to some physiological experience in his brain when he went through it.
So I mean, do you believe that people are actually having these experiences and they are real, or that it's just something that their brain is coming up with?
I think it's real. That's me. I think it's that the out of body experience is real, and that all of us have a spirit that really we're spirits with a body instead of a body with a spirit, and that once we launch our body, that's when reality really kicks in. To me, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And based on the experience of people that I've read their experience, that's what it sounds like.
I think it's real because some of these people actually can tell you exactly what was going on while they're having an out-of-body experience.
They saw what everybody else was doing in 360 degrees, just at the same time, all at the same time. And they have this huge influx of information that they get that comes into them that um, supersedes language or anything else. It's like telepathic. All of a sudden, they have this knowledge of the universe and what everybody around them is doing. So when they come back to life, when their body gets, kicked into gear with shock therapy or whatever, then they tell their parents or the doctor, "This is what I saw," and it corroborates with what the actual experience was. And there's no way they could know that. So that's my opinion.
That's a loud truck.
Yeah, somebody's got some traffic around them.
Well, I think that it's it's real, and that I think that what you're experiencing when that happens to you is actually real. I mean, I don't think that it's something that your brain is just making up.
Because how would it make up all of the activities other people are doing?
Yeah. And then when you come back,
in other rooms, when there's walls between you and in another room.
Yeah, when you come back, you know all that stuff. You experienced every bit of it, and then sometimes you also have these, new abilities.
That's what makes it real is that they know everything that's going on around it.
Yeah, and like I said, some of them come back with these abilities that they never had before.
True. More kinetic abilities, but but knowing what somebody's doing down the hall from you when you were in another room coding, that there's no way to explain that except that it's real to me.
Yeah.
And that's what we all are. We're all energy and we're all spirit.
Yeah,
and we have to live in a body like a taxi cab.
It's crazy that some people, don't believe that stuff. It's just like what we do. They call us stupid and call us names and all that, and talk about how fake every bit of it is. But too many people have had experiences, and I know a lot of people are just scared to come forward and say they have.
I think it's getting better in that respect. There's more movies out and all of that, but
it's getting a lot better.
I think so.
Yeah, well, I still run into the occasional,
Yeah.
Skeptic.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Yeah, that bad mouth you, and they always try to, someone disagrees with something I say, the first thing they do is like, okay, well, you're okay, ghost hunter, and try to just bad mouth you, and I'm like, okay.
Well, none of us have a total grip on the way it really is. It's just whatever our experience is, but outside of faith, but there's always room for improvement. So none of us are claiming to know anything. We're really claiming to be investigating those things that defy explanation any other way than paranormal or spiritual.
Yeah. Nobody can say they're the best at what they're doing on this, because there wouldn't be so many teams out there trying to prove everything if we did have a professional out there that knew everything about it.
That's just it. That's why we're still out here, because we don't know everything about it. We only know what we experienced to what we talked or shared with other people.
Yep.
Right.
And we don't try to down anybody, so to speak, over their experiences, but we try to duplicate their experiences. We try to see their experiences.
Yeah, see if we can experience the exact same thing that they did.
I mean, it's no different than me going into a room and saying, "Hey, this just happened."
Yeah.
What's Mac's going to do? Mac goes in there, or Sarah, or Chris, or Dustin. They go in there and try to duplicate the same thing. Are they undermining me? No. They're trying to get that to happen. And if that happens to them,
we can debunk what you thought you saw or heard.
For instance, the place on the window.
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. I was going to say, when we were at the nursing home and we thought it was that, well, I didn't want to go in there. I was just going to hang back and